Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Tomorrow, Arsenal are going to travel to St James Park to take on Newcastle United, a team that has become a bogey team in recent seasons. However, things are a whole lot different now. Alexander Isak, Newcastle's former talisman, has left for Liverpool. They have to reinvent their attack. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to break down what to expect from both sides, from key tactical battles to predicted lineups to Arsenal's form to Newcastle's form, and of course, I'll end it all by giving you my score prediction. So don't skip ahead. The prediction is at the end. With no Isaac, Newcastle might be exposed. But can they still hurt Arsenal? From the Arteta's side, every match is a chance to close the gap on Liverpool and accept our title credentials. As at the time of this recording, Arsenal is 5 points behind Liverpool with 5 games gone. Liverpool has somehow managed to win all 5 games played so far. 4-2 against Bournemouth, 3-2 against Liverpool, 1-0 against Arsenal, 1-0 against Burnley, and of course 2-1 in the Merseyside derby against Everton. A slip up here for Arsenal will be very costly. And for Newcastle, this is another chance to show their resilience. Can they prove that they are more than Isaac? Because the narrative is shifting this season. They have so far struggled for goals, but we'll talk more of it when we look at Newcastle's form and team news. With Isaac gone to Liverpool for the British record transfer move of I think £130 million, Newcastle's offensive burden has really shifted. Yes, they signed Nick Vothemad and of course Jan Wissa as potential replacements, but others need to step up. Wissa has been injured so far and is not going to come back, I think, till the next international break. But one key thing to note is that since Newcastle sold Isaac, they have found it hard to come by shutting scoring goals. Their first game of the season was against Aston Villa. It was a 0-0 draw, very boring draw. Second game of the season was quite interesting. They played against Liverpool, conceding 2 goals first before Bruno Guimaraes, the captain, and William Osula scored 2 goals to make it 2-2. When the 101st minute or so, Rio Ngumoha scored the final goal for Liverpool to win that game. When Newcastle visited Elland Road to play Leeds United, it was also a 0-0 draw. Then they hosted Wolves after the transfer window had been closed, and there was a debut goal for new signing Nick Vothemad. Game ended 1-0. After playing Wolves, it was time to go to the Champions League, and the mighty Barcelona came to St James Park, running them ragged and coming out as 2-1 winners, but it was a goal for Anthony Gordon. Then last game week, Newcastle visited Vitality Stadium to play Bournemouth and drew 0-0. You could see that they have really struggled to score goals, even though their EFL Cup clash against Bradford was quite street routine. They won 4-1 with 2 goals from Joelinton and 2 goals from Osula. But it's worth noting that Newcastle has struggled. With the team registering multiple goalless draws, it's very clear to see that Newcastle's form has shown that they're yet to find an effective replacement for Isaac or Rhythm. I would say Voldemort is supposed to be a replacement for Isaac, but obviously, come on, there are qualities that are totally different. For Voldemort to really cook in Newcastle, they have to basically change their style to accommodate him. Newcastle struggling to score. If Arsenal defend well, then Newcastle might run out of ideas. So injury news, Fabian Schär is out injured. I've mentioned earlier that Johan Wissa is injured. And of course, new signing, Jacob Ramsey, is also out injured. Unlike Newcastle, Arsenal have known how to find the back of the net in several locations this season, starting with the 1-0 win over Manchester United in August, followed by a 5-day demolition of Leeds United, and then the narrow loss to Liverpool 1-0, and of course the smash Nottingham Forest 3-0, and this was followed up with a 2-0 win against Athletic Club in the Champions League, and of course the draw against Man City last weekend. Then on Wednesday evening, Arsenal went to Vale Park to take on Port Vale and won 2-0. Arsenal's control in midfield stands out. Declan Rice and transition for the likes of Saka and Eze, although our attacking structure have been stretching defenses. However, our Achilles heel has still been defending set pieces and handling physical strikers. I know there was a stat that was shown last season that we had considered the most goals from set pieces last season. So it's something that Arsenal has to be mindful of because Newcastle know how to target set pieces. If you lose control in midfield, you might be vulnerable to counters. To injury news, we still have Kai Havertz out. We still have Gabriel Jesus out. Odegaard is going to face a late fitness test, and I'm sure hopefully he'll be fit enough to play the game because we need his creativity and of course his pressing. It's good to see the likes of Saka and Ben White get some valuable minutes after a long time out. And it's going to be interesting to see how this game pans out for Arsenal. To predicted lineups, I think Newcastle will probably use the same formation they used against Bournemouth, with 3-5-2. Pope will be in goal. You're just kind of looking at Ramsdale eating more bench right now in different clubs. He didn't want to spend some time on the bench at Arsenal. He chose to go to Southampton where he got relegated. And now that he left Southampton to Newcastle, he hasn't played any game yet. No, I stand to be corrected. He actually made his Newcastle debut in the 4-1 win against Bradford. Obviously, he's going to be a cup keeper for them. Hopefully, he might play some games in the Champions League or play in the Premier League when Pope gets injured or loses some form. Well, I expect Pope to still start against Arsenal with the likes of Bond, Botman, and Malik Tiao ahead of him. Shah is still out injured. The wing backs will be Lewis Hall and Tino Livramento with a three-pronged midfield of Joel Linton, Tonali, and Bruno Guimaraes. That's going to be a very strong midfield. In attack, I would expect to see Anthony Gordon play alongside Nick Voetmaat. As for Arsenal, David Raya should start in goal with Timber, who got some well-deserved rest against Port Vale. Calafiori also got some rest. Gabriel also got some rest. Only Saliba played in the last game, 90 minutes. I would say Saliba to play this game as well. So it's going to be Gabriel, Calafiori, Saliba, and Timber in the back line. In midfield, the rest for Zubimendi, with Noga making his debut in the game against Port Vale. And Declan Rice also getting some deserved rest as well. So it'll be Declan Rice, Zubimendi, and hopefully Odegaard. But if Odegaard doesn't make it, I would love to see Birichi Eze in midfield so that someone like Trossard Martinelli can play on the flanks. But if Odegaard makes it, I think our attacking trio is going to be Eze, Gyökeres, and Saka. Saka suffered a nasty gash in the game against Port Vale, but it's good to know that he's okay. To key players and tactical battles, these are the battles that determine whether Newcastle is going to stay in the game or if Arsenal is also going to edge it out. You would expect the likes of Nick Voetmaat, Anthony Gordon, and Joel Linton to fight hard. And on the Arsenal end, of course, we'll see Saka, Eze, and Martin Odegaard strut their stuff. It's going to be interesting to see how Arsenal's attacking trio is going to tear up on the Newcastle defense. When Newcastle are known for their resilience, especially to the back line, but they're going to be tested. As for the key battles in midfield, Rice versus Bruno Guimaraes should be an interesting one. On the flanks, Saka and Eze will lock horns against the likes of Livramento and Hall. Those are young fullbacks that have a lot of energy and pace to burn as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how that happens. For Newcastle secondary runs without Isaac, they have to rely on a lot of overloads and runs from deep. But this is going to be a very challenging game. I would love to see how Arsenal and Newcastle lock it up. Anytime they play, it's always very physical. So I expect to see cards. I expect to see so much energy and action from both sides. To my predictions, I expect Arsenal quality to edge this one. Newcastle will make it very difficult, no doubt. But my final prediction is going to be Newcastle 1, Arsenal 2. You can't really rule out a draw if Newcastle decides to be compact and frustrating, but it's going to be a close one, and Arsenal should have enough in the tank to see out the threats of Newcastle. So thanks for watching the preview. What's your predicted score? Drop it below in the comments. And if you like the breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course turn on notifications so you don't miss out on any Arsenal content. I'll see you guys in the match reaction tomorrow. Till next time, come on, you guys.